Land Transportation Related Special Laws. Presenting to you our outline of subjects. Number 1. RA number 8749 or the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999. Number 2. RA number 8750 Seatbelts Use Act of 1999. RA number 8794 the Motor Vehicle Road Users Charge Law or AntiOverloading Act. RA number 10586 or the Anti-Drunk and Drug Driving Act of 2013. RA number 10913 or the Anti-Destructed Driving Act. RA number 11229 Child Safety in Motor Vehicles Act. So let's begin. First, we have RA number 8749 or the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999. Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999 Policy of the State. Protect and advance the right of people to a balanced and healthful ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. Attain and maintain a balance between development and environmental protection. Right to utilize and enjoy natural resources for the nation's sustainable development. Maintain a quality of air that protects human health and welfare. Right of citizens to breathe clean air. Article 4, Section 21, Pollution from Motor Vehicles. Here are some offices that plays a special role in this implementation. We have Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Set the emission standards for motor vehicles. We also have Department of Transportation and Communications, which implement the emission standards set by DTI. And we also have Department of Transportation that deputize other law enforcement agencies and LGUs for the purpose. Here are the functions. Inspect and monitor the emissions of motor vehicles. Prohibit or enjoin the use of motor vehicles or a class of motor vehicles in any area or street at specified time. And authorize private emission testing centers duly accredited by Department of Trade and Industry or DTI. Article 4, Section 22, Regulation of Motor Vehicles and Engines. Requirement for registration. Any imported new or locally assembled new motor vehicle shall not be registered unless it complies with the emission standards set pursuant to this Act, as evidenced by a Certificate of Conformity or COC. Any imported used motor vehicle or rebuilt motor vehicle must be compliant with the applicable emission standards. No motor vehicle registration or MVR shall be issued unless such motor vehicle passes the emission testing requirement. Such testing shall be conducted by the DOTR or its authorized inspection centers within 60 days prior to the date of registration. Section 46, Violation of Standards for Motor Vehicles. Here are the fines and penalties. For the first offense, not exceeding 2,000 pesos. For the second offense, not exceeding 4,000 pesos. For third offense and succeeding offense, not more than 6,000 pesos and 1 year suspension of the motor vehicle registration. And for the violators, the driver and operator of the apprehended vehicle shall undergo a seminar on pollution control and management conducted by the Department of Transportation. Reminder: regularly check your motor vehicle level of smoke emission and always have proper motor vehicle maintenance and correction. Be the solution. Make sure that your motor vehicle is not the source of air pollution. Let's move on to RA number 8750, Seatbelts Use Act of 1999. Seatbelts save lives, so buckle up! What is Seatbelts Use Act? Coverage, we have private and public. Seatbelt Use Act is an act requiring the mandatory compliance by motorists of private and public vehicles to use seatbelt devices and vehicle manufacturers to install seatbelt devices in all their manufactured vehicles. Coverage: drivers and passengers. Posting of appropriate signage on public or for hire vehicles. Manufacturers, assemblers, bodybuilders, distributors, and dealers of motor vehicle. Objectives of a Seatbelt Act: to secure and safeguard the passengers and drivers of private and public motor vehicles from the ruinous and extremely injurious effects of vehicular accidents. Another objective is to pursue a more proactive and preventive approach in order to secure the safety of the passengers and drivers at all times, with the mandatory enforcement of the use of seatbelt devices by the drivers and front seat passengers of private and public motor vehicles. Wearing a seatbelt is the most effective way to prevent death and serious injury in a crash. People not wearing seatbelt are 30 times more likely to be ejected from a vehicle during a car crash. Here are some types of seatbelt. We have lap belt or 2-point, and also shoulder harness or 3-point. Nature of violations, fines, and penalties. For driver, conductor, operator, and owner: failure to wear the prescribed seatbelt. Allowing a child 6 years old and below seated on the front passenger seat. For those who would violate, first offense would be 1,000 pesos, second offense 2,000, third offense 5,000 plus 1 week suspension from the payment of fine for the third and succeeding offense. failure to post appropriate signage instructing passengers for public utility vehicles fasten seatbelts, failure to instruct front seat passengers to wear seatbelts. For public utility vehicle, both the driver and the operator are liable to fine 3,000 for every violation. Section 5 of RA number 8750 or the Seatbelt Use Act. Prohibition. Children prohibited to sit in front seat. Infants and or children with ages 6 years and below shall be prohibited to sit in the front seat of any running motor vehicle. Take note, Section 17 of RA number 11229 or the Child Safety in Motor Vehicles Act. Repealing clause, Section 5 on the age of children prohibited to sit in front seat of Republic Act No. 8750 and Section 11 thereof on the use of special car seats are hereby amended. Reminder: the safety belt should rest comfortably across the torso. The lap belt is placed over the stomach but not over the hips. Never use a seat belt for 2 or more people at the same time. Wearing seatbelt is a must. It keeps your driving safer and serves as a lifesaver. RA number 8794 or the Motor Vehicle Users Charge Law or AntiOverloading Act. RA number 8794 or the Anti-Overloading Act, Policy of the State. Provide for and ensure adequate maintenance of national and provincial roads through sufficient funding. Covered vehicles, we have private, for hire, and government. MVUC Law. It is an act imposing a motor vehicle user's charge on owners of all types of motor vehicles and for other purposes. Collection of MVUC is part of the annual vehicle registration. Our objectives: for road safety, to prevent the premature deterioration of the road, to prevent smoke belching due from overtaxed engine, reminder: check your load limits prior to your every trip to avoid the road crush and the road to crush. Do not overload your motor vehicle. Let's move on to RA number 10586 or the Anti-Drunk and Drug Driving Act of 2013. Anti-Drunk and Drug Driving Act or ADDA is an act penalizing persons driving under the influence of alcohol, dangerous drugs, and similar substances and for other purpose. Procedure in screening for driving under the influence of alcohol. Determination of probable cause. Traffic offense committed by means of lane straddling, making sudden stops, overspeeding, swerving, and weaving. Procedure in screening for driving under the influence of alcohol shall also constitute probable cause with evident smell of alcohol in the driver's breath, generally slurred speech in response to questioning, bloodshot or reddish eyes. Procedure in screening for driving under the influence of alcohol. Once the law enforcement officer or LTO have established the existence of probable cause, the LTO shall expressly inform the driver of his assessment and direct the driver to perform all of the 3 field sobriety tests. The field sobriety test. Standardized test to initially assess and determine intoxication. First field sobriety test, we have the eye test or horizontal gaze nystagmus. Horizontal or lateral jerking of the driver's eyes as he or she gazes sideways following a moving object such as pen or the tip of a pen light, held by the LTO from a distance of about 1 foot away from the face of the driver. The field sobriety test, walk and turn, requires the driver to walk heel to toe along a straight line for 9 steps, turn at the end and return to the point of origin without any difficulty. The third sobriety test is the one-leg stand. Stand on either right or left leg with both arms on the side. The driver is instructed to keep the foot raised about 6 inches off the ground for 30 seconds. If the driver has passed all 3 tests and is proven negative of under influence, he or she shall be apprehended for the traffic offense committed. If the driver fails any of the field sobriety test, the LTO shall proceed to determine the driver's blood alcohol concentration level through the use of the alcohol breath analyzer on site. Procedure in screening for driving under the influence of alcohol. Refusal to undergo the mandatory testing. penalized with the confiscation and automatic revocation of his or her driver's license. Mandatory alcohol and drug testing. Number 1. If involved in motor vehicular accidents. Number 2. Nationwide random terminal inspection and quick random drug testing. Procedure in screening for driving under the influence of alcohol. A driver who, after the ABA testing, registers a BAC or blood alcohol concentration higher than the prescribed limit shall be put under arrest and the motor vehicle impounded. Miranda Doctrine. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand the rights I have just read to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me? Fines and penalties. If the violation did not result in physical injury or homicide, the penalty would be 3 months imprisonment and the fine ranging from 20,000 to 80,000 pesos. If the violation resulted in physical injuries, penalty provided in Article 263 of the RPC or the penalty provided in next proceeding subparagraph, whichever is higher, and fine ranging from 100,000 to 200,000 pesos shall be imposed. If the violation resulted in homicide, penalty provided in Article 249 of the RPC and a fine ranging from 300,000 to 500,000 shall be imposed. Fines and penalties. Non-professional driver's license of any person to have violated the law shall also be, for the first conviction, confiscated and suspended for a period of 12 months. For the second conviction, perpetually revoked. Professional driver's license shall also be, for the first conviction, confiscated and perpetually revoked. The perpetual revocation of a driver's license shall disqualify the person from being granted any kind of driver's license. The prosecution for any violation of this act shall be without prejudice to criminal prosecution for violation. Revised Penal Code, Republic Act No. 9165, and other special laws and existing local ordinances whenever applicable. Let's move on to RA number 10913, or the AntiDestructed Driving Act. AntiDestructed Driving Law. All motorists are prohibited to use any communication device while the vehicle is in motion or temporarily stopped at a red light or intersection. Policy of the state: to safeguard its citizenry from ruinous and extremely injurious effects of vehicular accidents or crash. Takes cognizance of the inimical consequences of the unrestrained use of electronic mobile devices on road safety as to cause its regulation. So let's be clear about AntiDestructed Act. It is prohibited to compose or send or read text messages while driving, making or receiving calls, watching movies, TV shows or web videos, surfing the internet or performing calculations, reading ebooks or emails, playing games via mobile apps or electronic devices. So who are exempted from this law? Motorists are allowed to use their devices to make or take emergency calls to authorities in cases of crime, accidents, bomb or terrorist threat, fire or explosion, instances needing immediate medical attention, or when personal safety and security is compromised. Now look closely to where our gadgets could be placed. Fines and penalties. Drivers of the following public utility vehicle, school buses or services, common carriers of volatile, flammable, toxic materials, violating within a 50-meter radius from a school's premises shall be subjected to a penalty of 30,000 and 3 months suspension of driver's license. Fines and penalties. For the first offense, we have a fine of 5,000 pesos. Second offense, 10,000. Third offense, 15,000 and 3 months license suspension. For the fourth offense, 20,000 and revocation of license for succeeding offenses. A simple reminder from RA number 10913 or the AntiDestructed Driving Act. Behind the wheel, Cell phones can kill. Let's move on to RA number 11229, or the Child Safety in Motor Vehicle Act. Child Safety in Motor Vehicle Act. This provides special protection of child passengers while being transported in a motor vehicle. Policy of the state: ensure the safety of children while being transported in any form of motor vehicle. The state recognizes the right of children to assistance, including proper care and special protection from all forms of neglect, abuse, and other conditions prejudicial to their development, including exposure to safety risks while aboard motor vehicles. Child Safety in Motor Vehicle Act guarantee the safety and welfare of infants and children and prevent traffic-related deaths and injuries. Require, regulate, promote, and inform the public on the use of child restraint systems. Determine appropriate safety measures for children being transported in public utility vehicles. Provide access to safe, appropriate, quality, and affordable child restraint system standards accepted by the United Nations. Definition of terms: adult, any person 18 years old and above. Child, any person 12 years old and below. Covered vehicle: any private motor vehicle or public motor vehicle upon the determination of the DOTR. Child Restraint System: it is a device approved by the DTI capable of accommodating a child occupant in a sitting or supine position. Child Restraint System is designed as to diminish the risk of injury to the wearer in the event of a collision or of abrupt deceleration of the vehicle, by limiting the mobility of the child's body. Section 4. Mandatory use of child restraint system in motor vehicle. It is unlawful for the driver of a covered vehicle not to properly secure at all times a child in a child restraint system while the engine is running or transporting such child on any road, street, or highway. A child 12 years old and below must sit in the rear seat of the motor vehicle with standard child restraint system. Child 12 years old and below can only sit in front if he or she is at least 150 centimeters or 59 inches in height and properly secured using the regular seat belt. Exemptions. Here are the exceptional circumstances. During medical emergencies, when the child being transported has a medical, mental, psychological, psychiatric, or developmental condition, or other analogous circumstances as may be determined by the DOTR in consultation with the Department of Health. Another exceptional circumstances. The child being secured in a child restraint system, at no instance shall such child be left unaccompanied by an adult in a motor vehicle. Section 4. Prohibition on substandard or expired child restraint system. It shall be unlawful for any person, company, partnership, sole proprietorship, manufacturer, distributor, and or importer to manufacture, use, import, sell, distribute, donate, lease, advertise, promote, or otherwise market the use of substandard or expired child restraint system. Fines and penalties. Child with no child restraint system and sitting in front in a motor vehicle. Any driver in violation shall be fined for the first offense, 1,000 pesos. Second offense, 2,000. Third and succeeding offenses, 5,000, and suspension of the driver's license for a period of 1 year. Manufacturers, importers, distributors, and sellers must secure PS Mark license or import clearance certificate license. Must not use, import, sell, distribute, or market the use of substandard or expired child restraint system. $50,000 but not more than 100,000 for each and every child restraint system product. Other penalties imposed in Republic Act No. 7394 or the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Tampering, alteration, forgery, and imitation of the PS mark or the ICC stickers in the child restraint system. $50,000 but not more than 100,000 for each and every child restraint system product. Section 17. Repealing Clause. The age 6 years and below of children prohibited to sit in front seat of Republic Act No. 8750 and Section 11 thereof on the use of special car seats are hereby amended. Remember that Republic Act No. 8750 is also known as the Seatbelt Use Act of 1999.